Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a recovery run scheduled and I'm supposed to be doing it by heart rate. And the Garmin program calls for me to keep my heart rate in zone 2. And that got me really thinking about training by heart rate. And I know that some of you have commented on previous videos that you do train using the heart rate method. So I thought it'd be a great conversation piece for us today and talk about it maybe in the comment section below. Because it's not something that I'm necessarily accustomed to. I've never trained specifically using a training plan based on heart rate before. And so it brings up a lot of questions for me. Number one is, for those of you who do train this way, how did you determine your heart rate zones? Now I can go in to Garmin and adjust the heart rate zones based on me. But I'm just wondering, I know there are a number of different methods that are out there. I think one of them, you take 211 and you minus 0.64 times your age. And that's one method. Another method is to take the number 220 and minus your age. And in both of those cases, it would give you what should be your maximum heart rate. But I was curious if there was a more scientific method maybe that you could use to do that. Now I think that Garmin bases my heart rate zones on my own personal data that it gathers using my watch and smartphone and app and AI and all that stuff. But I'm not 100% positive on that. But I think it does. It seems to collect a lot of information about heart rates. But this is something that I've struggled with, and I struggled with it the last time that I ran this program. When it called for me to do any kind of recovery work or any kind of workouts based on heart rate, is my heart rate tends to be elevated. And so, I did try different things by using a heart monitor specifically, and it didn't seem to make much difference, to be honest. So, but what I'm thinking is happening with me is because when it's having me do these like recovery runs based on heart rate, it seems to be early in the plan. So my conditioning isn't what it's going to be. And so because I'm not as conditioned as I am toward the end of the training plan, my heart rate tends to get elevated pretty quickly. And if I were to look over the course of a year, for example, I would bet that my heart rate range would appear to be much better than it does right now. But I don't know that. I'm gonna look that up now that I say that out loud and talk about it with you guys here. But I was just really curious, like what you guys do, and for those of you that are experienced using heart rate, and would you recommend it to others? I think there's a ton of benefits with it. It really sounds exciting to me, and something that I think I might want to try down the road. I'm just not sure how well it would go for me. I think that it would be easy for me to get discouraged in the beginning anyway. Because that was something that I was feeling a little bit the last time that I tried to do any kind of workout based on my heart rate. Is it just seemed like I couldn't get it down no matter what I did. So hey, that's the conversation started for today. Also, it's Friday, and I thought we could do something a little bit different on Fridays. If you guys want to do like a feel good Friday, maybe share something good that has happened in your life this week. It doesn't have to have anything to do with running at all. I think it's great if it does, because I love to talk about running specifically. But maybe it's just something in your life that's happened good this week that you might want to share, because the world seems pretty negative right now, and it would sure be nice to have a little good news, especially on a Friday as we begin to start our weekend. So I'll share with you a couple things actually that made me smile this week. Number one is I heard or I read that Iliad Kipkokic, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm so sorry, Iliad, if I just murdered your name. But he's going to be running the Boston Marathon, and since I'm going to be there, that'll be exciting for me. Even though I will probably never get within 100 yards of him, I think would be pretty exciting to run the same race that he's running at the same time that he's doing it. So that made me smile, and that made me happy this week. So that was good news. And the other piece of good news for me is, we were still celebrating Christmas up through this week. In fact, I still have one more Christmas to go, even though it's already, past the first week in January, just because we had a snowstorm, blah, 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 couldn't do it, that kind of stuff. So we got some yet still coming. But this week I got to celebrate Christmas with my two nephews and my niece, because we hadn't seen them before this. And, little kids and Christmas, that just makes you smile. So had a really good week this week. And so I'd love to hear about things that might have happened in your life that were good too. And I think others might as well. So I think for me, the big bonus of the videos that we produce and watch on this channel is all about the comment section. It's sharing information and the joys and successes. And also, I do want to say that, for those of you who are currently on the injured list, my heart goes out to you. I'm sending you good vibes because I did read a few of the comments that some of you have gone through some pretty difficult times recently. And so my heart goes out to you as well. And I hope that all you guys, if you're reading these comments, maybe just mentally send them a few good vibes. All right, so I'm going to go out for this recovery run. I'm going to do my best to try to keep my heart rate. Now, Garmin's asking me to keep my heart rate into zone 2. That could be a bit of a challenge for me, but we'll find out. So I'm going to go get it done, and then when I come back, we'll talk about it. I'll let you know how I did. So I'm back, and I failed miserably, but I like to think that I'm failing forward because I did my best out there. And while I didn't stay within zone 2 like the plan was calling for, it did give me some insight as to where I'm at in terms of my overall conditioning. And I've got a ways to go, but I'm okay with that. It's only week 2, and it's just the middle of week 2 at that. So I've got plenty of time to bring my conditioning back in line to where it needs to be. And as you can see from the stats that I'm scrolling across the screen or on the side, however I decide to do it here in post, my average heart rate was about 151 beats per minute. And the max was a bit higher than that, obviously. So still have a little ways to go. And it didn't seem to matter what my pace was. My heart rate was still pretty elevated. I even slowed down to almost a crawl. So I'm going to put my pace overlaid on top of my heart rate just so that you can kind of see what I'm talking about. But even when I slowed my pace down to, like I said, basically a fast walk, my heart rate was still elevated pretty high. And in some cases, it seemed like it spiked even higher. So I definitely have a little bit of work to do, but I'm okay with that. Like I said, I've got plenty of time, and it gives me something to shoot for. Hey, don't forget, add in the comment section below if you had experience with the heart rate training method and what kind of success or maybe what kind of difficulties you've had using it. Just as an opportunity for us to be able to share. And also, if something good happened to you this week, let's leave it in the Feel Good Friday section in the comments below. All right. Hey, thanks for joining me on this video. That's it for today. As always, run tall, run strong, be kind to one another. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on Run Tall with Tim.